we go. I think we're good. If this other computer would cooperate with me. All right. Yep, I think we're good. So we're going to have just a bit of a quiet period, as they say here, as we wait for people to come around. Those of you who are watching this after the fact, this is live stream number 2 for my Out of the Park Baseball 22 playthrough with the Colorado Rockies here on the GM Games channel. We did the first stream a couple of weeks ago. I've been down with COVID since then, so haven't had much energy to do this. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I'm feeling a heck of a lot better. It was touch and go there for a little while. I mean, I was never in any danger. I was just really sick. I mean, there were days where I slept 15, 16 hours a day for like a week and a half. It which sounds great, except it wasn't very restful sleep because I had, headaches and body aches and a fever and everything else. So the only thing that's remaining is this cough. But that's also better. So it's going to be a whole lot better than it was when I streamed a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. I feel a ton better. I got some hockey on in front of me here as we, I think we're still waiting. We give it another minute or two here before we really dive in. But got some hockey on in front of me. I got the Bruins and Capitals going on right now. Bruins just took a 1-0 lead, which for me as a Bruins fan is fantastic. So that's good. And yeah, what do we got here? So we'll give it another, minute and a half. So sound okay, Chris? Everything sounds okay on your end? You can hear me just fine? No problems? Background noise hopefully isn't too bad. My office is, I haven't put my air conditioner up yet. It's sitting on the floor underneath the window. So I've just got my window open, and it's about 85 degrees here in Chicago today. So my office is pretty warm at the moment. So I had to open a window. So I didn't know if you could hear the outside noise, but it sounds like we're okay. Yeah, we got 2 people in here. We got you and me. So actually, I think we got a few more people now. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started now. So when the last episode left off, my last recorded episode, we left off at we had just finished this game on the 12th. We had just gotten through the draft pool announcements. My goal tonight is to try to get, at a bare minimum, to get up to the 31st. So we'll take a look at, we'll get through international signing, first-year player draft, trade deadline, that sort of thing. So that's sort of the plan. It's been a pretty good month for us so far. Just to sort of recap where we are: 12-12 in April, 11-17 in May, 8-3 so far here in June. So things are looking pretty good so far this month. Offensively, we're doing things that Rockies do. We're second in the National League in scoring, 4th in batting average, 4th in on base, 3rd in OPS. Our pitching has been up and down. We were up as high as, I want to say earlier in the last episode, we were up at, our starters had the 6th best ERA in the National League. That's dropped down to 13th. Bullpen is 14th, but I'm happy with our starting rotation where it is right now. DeGrom, who is our big offseason acquisition, we signed him to a 4-year, $30 million contract. The 4th year is a vesting option. Giving up a lot of hits, but so far not terrible. I mean, his BABIP is 372, so you have to think that these numbers will sort of come back down to earth here as we move forward. But he's been good. I mean, he's on pace for 4 WARs, so you can't really complain there. Glasnow has been terrific, even though he's 3-5, 3.10 ERA, 95 strikeouts in 66 innings. Clevenger 6-3, 4.23. He was our other off-season signing. It was a reasonable contract here too. So 3 years, $30 million. The last year is a team option. King has really been the only starting pitcher that struggled. Schmidt has been very good. You look at his 3 years with us. 1-14 in 2021, 11-10 last year, and then 4-3 this year. ERA has dropped, by almost 4 runs in 2 years. So I'm content with our starting rotation. Our bullpen's been okay. We've made a couple of moves to improve it, and then our lineup's been fine. Joey Gallo's not hitting, at least not hitting for average. Not that you would expect him to, but you do expect more than a 168 average. So that's kind of a review of where we are. We're 31-32. So we're going to continue on here as we have a 3-game series at Los Angeles to take on the Dodgers. Oh, and the Bruins are on a power play. So I'm going to keep an eye on that out of my right eye while I'm doing this with my left eye. So let's sim ahead a day and see how things go. 6-0 win. You'll like that. Joey Gallo, 2 hits, 4 RBIs. Who pitched? Michael King. I just got done talking about how he was struggling. He pitched a 7 1/3 shutout, giving out 4 hits. Gallo, 2 home runs. Candelario, a couple of doubles. King also had 2 RBIs. So good game there against the Dodgers. We're now at 500. We are 32-32. Let's keep going. Back-to-back shutout wins over the Dodgers. Clark Schmidt went in this one, and he went the first 5 1/3. A lot of bullpen work in this one. Claudio, Medina, Dolis, and Wendelken all pitched scoreless instances. Gallo with a triple in that one. Average up to 1. He's raised average 13 points in 2 games, or 8 points in 2 games. So far so good there. I'll take it. Back-to-back shutout wins over the Dodgers. Can we get the sweep? No, we lose 5-2. Drops us to 33-33. Let's continue on to San Francisco. We lose 9-6. Lose 5-1. And let's avoid the sweep here. Let's take the final game against San Francisco. And we do. We win 6-5. So we are 34-35. Who pitched in this one? King pitched in this one as well. Adamon homers. Gallo's at 171. Let's just revert back here to the stats a little bit. DeGrom pitched. Last game he pitched 6 innings, giving up 5 hits, striking out 5. Not a great game there for DeGrom. Glasnow got smoked in his last start. Walked 6, gave up 8 runs. That's not good. And Clevenger didn't pitch well. 4 runs in 5 innings isn't great, but it's not. I guess it's not awful for the Rockies. So rough go through that round of the rotation there. But we're still a game under 500. We are 2 games out of a wild card. You can see, only a couple games behind Arizona, Cincinnati, and Milwaukee, who are all 36-33. Excuse me as I cough right into the mic. I apologize for that. I'm going to turn my head this way when I cough from now on. Oswald Peraza is continuing to mash since we called him up from AAA. 23 for his first 56, hitting .411 in 18 games. All right, let's move on. What do we got? I think we have St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis for 3. So we'll play up to the All-Star break, and then we'll take a look at the stats and kind of see where things lay. You need to check in a bit. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. You're fine. I'll keep talking to myself, and hopefully people will jump in here and keep me company. So we will continue on against St. Louis. We win 6-4. And as long as it's just me, we'll take a look at these box scores and see how things went. So Dominic Fletcher had a couple of hits, couple RBIs. Gallo hit his 12th home run of the season. Schmidt, 2 runs in 6 1/3. Next game against the Cardinals is a 4-1 win. So we've now won 3 in a row. We've won 6 out of 9 since we started up here. And I got to close this. Sorry about that. I forgot I had Discord open. So 4-1 victory. Hey, Breeze, what's going on, man? How you doing? Peraza, 1 hit, but he had 3 RBIs, up to 407. DeGrom with finally a solid game out of Jacob DeGrom. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. Things are looking. How am I doing? I'm doing much better. Thank you. I was telling Chris this a minute ago that there were a couple of days there where things were. I was struggling. COVID knocked me on my ass, and I was sleeping 15, 16 hours a day, and I was in a lot of pain, and it was really uncomfortable. But I'm doing a hell of a lot better now. Still have a slight cough, but I'm doing good. And the Rockies are doing well. You haven't missed much. We've simmed through 9 games since we started, and we are 6-3 in those 9 games. Yeah, F is right. But I'm feeling a whole lot better. Just have a small cough still, which you'll hear throughout the stream tonight. But otherwise, I am doing fine on this Friday night. Excuse me. And our plan is to get up through the trade deadline. So I'll be asking for some guidance from chat. But yeah, the goal is to make it up through the 31st of July. See how we can do. So we've won 3 in a row. We won our first 3. We had 2 shutouts over the Dodgers. Then we lost 3 straight. Now we've won 3 straight, and we're going for the sweep here over the Cardinals. And we get it. We went 4-3, so we've won 4 in a row, and we're 7-3 in our last 10, and we are 2 games over 500. Good start to the season. Naylor with a couple of hits. Candelario, 3 hits, 3 for 4. Glasnow pitched better. He got smoked in his last start. He gave up 8 runs in 2 innings. So 2 runs in 5. Get that ERA back down to 4. So good stuff. We're 2 games over 500. Where are we in the wild card race? 1 game out. 1 game behind the Arizona Diamondbacks. So we have a day off today. Then we have 3 games against the Mets, and then we'll kind of review the roster, see how things are going, and see what potential moves we need to make. And I'm also watching hockey. I don't know if you're a hockey fan, Breeze, but I'm currently watching the Bruins and the Capitals. So that's the other thing I'm doing. And we win again. So 5 wins in a row. Look at that. So five we only gave up 5 runs here, 4-1, 3-1. So the pitching is coming around here a little bit. Clevenger pitches, picks up the win. He goes 6, gives up 1 run, no walks, strikes out 6. Martinez gets the save. Rodgers and Candelario each homer. Gallo's still not hitting, but everybody else is. So we can get Candelario's was a pinch hit 2-run homer. Very nice. Okay. So we got 2 more games here prior to the All-Star break. Let's see how we do there. We've won 5 in a row. Make it 6. Facing off against Big Boy. Yeah, I'm a I've always been the kind of person who has always said that I cheer for the laundry, and I loved, Zdeno Chara, captain for 14 years, and was just a force back there on the blue line. But the Bruins they've attacked him in this playoff series, and they've made him look not great. They've made him look not great. Washington has had to hide him and play him sparingly. So you're doing what you got to do, right? He may have been a teammate and a friend for years and years and years, but at this point you need to take advantage of their weaknesses, and that's what they're doing. So we improved to 39-35. We're now 4 games over 500. King got hit pretty hard. 5 runs, 11 hits, and 6 in the third. Hamilton and Martinez pitched scoreless innings. Hamilton got the win, and Martinez got the save. Sanchez with a home run. Gallo hit his 13th. McKinstry homered. Naylor homered. So 4 home runs in this one. Gallo only hitting 169, but a team leading 46 runs knocked in. So far, so good. All right, and can we finish off the first half? Well, what's considered the first half of the season with a 7-game winning streak? Let's see how we do on the Sunday game. And woof, we lose 10-1. Okay, so that was a rough one. Schmidt didn't have a good game. All right, so did they announce the All-Star teams? Excuse me, they did. Okay, so who made the All-Star team for us? None of our starting pitchers. Radio Martinez made it, so good for him. He's bounced back after a rough start to the season, but none of our starters made it. Offensively, Freeman, Smith, Albies, Brendan Rodgers. Looks like that's it. So just Brendan Rodgers and Radiel Martinez. Those are the only 2 players who made the All-Star team for us. The prospect game. Drew Romo. Drew Jones. And that's it. Okay, that's fine. So we had two prospects and two players on the actual All-Star team. Where are we on this list? We are 11th. Wow, we're up to 11th in the power rankings. We've had a solid month. So the month of June sees us go 16-7. Wow, very, very good. You can see our offensive stats here: 5th in runs scored, 3rd in slugging, 4th in OPS, 4th in home runs, 4th in base running. So we're a good base running team too. Pitching, continues to struggle, but as long as we're not last, I think ultimately what we need to work on is our defense, and we're going to look at that in a second. But our defense across the board is terrible. Starters ERA is 14th, bullpen is 13th. If we look at our team stats, Glasnow 3-6 with an even 4 ERA, FIP at 3.08, 2.3 WAR. Clevenger leads the team in wins. He's 7-4, only giving up 8 home runs in 87 2/3 innings. FIP below 4 again, 1.8 WAR. DeGrom 4-7 with a 5.46, 1.8 WAR. And Clark Schmidt 6-4 with a 3.49, good for 1.6 WARs one as well. JB Wendelken has been terrific. Look at that, 30 innings, only 3 earned runs, 35-6 K walk ratio, 0.88 ERA, 159 opponent's batting average. He's been terrific. Medina's been really good. We lean on him a lot. He's already pitched 46 innings as a reliever. He's on pace to pitch 100 innings as a bullpen arm. Claudio's been really good this year. We had initially had him set up as a specialist, but he's had a nice season. 1 walk in 27 innings. Michael King has struggled. He kind of took a step back after last year. I was really hopeful after last year with him. I figured the low stuff and the low movement would play a little bit with the high control, but not this year. 17 home runs in 81 innings isn't going to get it done. So we may have to look for a change there. Brett Conine, 4.45. He was a Rule 5 guy, but I'd like to keep him around. Ground ball pitcher. He's got 4 good pitches, good stuff. He could be a useful bullpen arm down the road. Dolis has pitched really well since we called him up, especially compared to last year. He's pitched really, really well. We talked about Martinez. Tim Hill we picked up from the Mets, and he struggled, so we moved him to the specialist role to try to limit how much he was going to pitch. And then Hamilton has been okay. His FIP is pretty high, but ultimately he's been okay. Batting, Brendan Rodgers leads us in WAR, 2.3, 12 home runs, 37. I'm glad I didn't trade him. I was trying to trade him in the offseason, so glad we didn't trade him. He's been really, really good offensively. Heimer Candelario has been good offensively as well. 861 OPS. Naylor's at an 851 OPS, 500 slugging. Some of these slugging percentages are crazy. Peraza averaged down to 382, but still hitting. He's good for 1 WAR in 23 games. Dominic Fletcher's hitting really well in limited playing time. Jamison Hanna. The average is down a bit. I need that on-base percentage up a tad. I'd like to see it around 350. McKinstry, doing okay. He's playing a lot of positions, which is really all we need out of him. Ali Sanchez isn't really hitting, but defensively he's doing well. Maciel has only got a little bit of playing time. Rivas is, he's at even with 0 WAR, but he's putting up a 350 on base percentage. If he could lift that batting average to 280, now all of a sudden that on base percentage is 380, and he's OPSing close to 800. So. And then Adams and Adamon aren't playing much as backups. Neither of them are hitting all that well. And then Gallo is struggling. The Red Sox are goats. I'm a huge Red Sox. I guess that sort of gives it away. But I think I've said this before. I grew up just north of Boston. Live in Chicago now, but grew up just north of Boston. And I'm a Boston sports fan, even though I live here in Chicago. My father-in-law has at one time or another. He currently has Bears season tickets. He's had White Sox. He's had Blackhawks, and he's had who am I missing? Blackhawks, Bulls. But I have maintained my loyalty, and I only go to games that feature teams from Boston. So I'll be making my first trip to a sporting event in over 2 years in August when the Red Sox come to town to play the White Sox. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's where we stand offensively and defensively. I think, we could always use more pitching. I think, we could definitely use another MJ's Bulls. They're not the same team, now obviously as they were back in the 90s, but I think we could always use another pitcher. King is struggling, so it might not hurt to look into the starting pitcher market. Look at the trade block, see what we can pick up maybe for a starting pitcher. Offensively, I don't really know that there's a whole lot. I would like to get better defensively. That's kind of where I am at with this. If you look at our fielding, it's just terrible. You look at some of these zone. Sanchez, Gallo, Hanna, and Peraza are the only positive zone rating players we have on the team. We are going to need to sort something out here. Our infield is especially bad. Rodgers, Candelario, and Naylor are all terrible. I don't know that Candelario, really, or Naylor, I guess, are hitting good enough to justify their bats. So if we can find an upgrade at third where maybe the offense isn't quite as good, but the defense is better, it's something we're going to have to consider. And then Rivas, his ratings would sort of indicate that he shouldn't be that bad out in left field, but he is. He's been terrible at first and terrible in left. So, we need to do something defensively for sure. Let's just quickly take a look at the trade block. Let's see. Yeah, it hasn't changed much since I looked at it in the last episode. Adalberto Mondesi is on here. He's a good defensive shortstop, but Kansas City wants a ton for him. They want Drew Romo, so it's just not going to happen. So I think what we do is we keep simming here a little bit, and we try to get a little closer to the deadline and see if anything changes. I don't remember. Yeah, there were a lot of pitchers, but nothing that really piqued my interest. A couple of decent starters, Wheeler, Herman, Hendricks, but nothing that's significantly better than what we have. So I'm content just kind of moving forward with what we have, and we'll keep an eye on the trade block here and see what happens. So we're going to go up to the international free agent signing. So we got a couple days here where this is a bummer. Will Myers is out, still out with a severe hip strain. He had been hitting really, really well for us, but he's out for a bit still. Michael Conforto went 1 for 2. Let's look at the box score. So we had who? We had Brendan Rodgers, right? Brendan Rodgers was our only offensive player. He pinch hit and struck out. And we had Radiel Martinez, who pitched an inning. So both of our players got in. And, so that Rodgers struck out and Martinez pitched a scoreless inning. So there we go. Let's keep moving here. What date are we on? We are on the 29th. Okay, so we got 3-game series against the Cubs. That'll take us into July and the international signing. So let's see how these first couple games go after the trade deadline. We win. We are 4 games over 500. Candelario 2 for 4 with 2 runs batted in. DeGrom went 7. That's what we needed to see out of DeGrom. He's had a couple of really good starts here in his last few outings. 2 really good starts in a row. 3 runs in his last 14, striking out 17, walking 1. He's lowered his ERA by more than half a run in his last 2 starts. So good to see. All right, last game of June against the Cubs. Did we win? No, we lost 5-1. Okay. Player development. Martinez got better. King continues to get a little worse. Hamilton got a little worse. Glasnow got a little worse. DeGrom, his movement got better, his control got worse, his stamina got better. Candelario got a little worse. Peraza kind of went both ways, got better at some, worse at others. Same with Rivas. Jamison Hanna got better. His average is starting to really tumble. So is that on-base percentage. Gonna have to do something about that. Gallo, contact continues to drop. It's down to a 34. He's down to 169, which is where he was actually when we started the episode. DeMarcus Evans down in AAA. We sent him down to AAA because he was terrible. He's not pitching much better in Albuquerque. 15 walks in 15 innings. I'm more concerned about our prospects. None of them are showing up. Drew Jones in single A is getting better. He looks like he's going to be a good one. 310, 403, 500 in A-ball. Number 5 prospect in baseball at age 19. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Luis Rengifo is the batter of the month in the American League. Manny Machado in the National League. Giolito, AL Pitcher of the Month. Corbin Martin, NL Pitcher of the Month. Rookie of the Month is Luis Gil. And in the National League, it is Adonis Medina of the Colorado Rockies, who we have leaned on heavily. The 26-year-old who we claimed on waivers at the beginning of the season. 46 innings, 57 strikeouts. He's been terrific. So, all right. So we are 40 and 37. We are in the second wild card spot. We are tied in that second. Well, I guess San Francisco and us are tied for that second wild card position. We aren't going after the Dodgers. Obviously, we're 13 games back, but the playoffs are within our sights this year if we can just make a couple of tweaks. I think we do get Gratterall. I forgot about Brusdar Gratterall. We're gonna get him back. I guess July. It's August. Yeah, we're not gonna get Gratterall. We're not gonna get back until next season. He's out for 4 months, but we'll get Myers back here at some point, and that will provide a boost to the offense right away. We stick Myers in for Rivas, and that doesn't do much for us defensively, but from an offensive perspective, we get that bump. So, international free agents. Let's take a look and see what is available. Does not look like much. Victor Arellano. Vinnie Carrillo. Old school work ethic, very coachable. OSA likes him more than we do. This might be somebody we take a run at just because of his high work ethic. At 16, he's not very good defensively, but I think he's probably a better... I guess he could probably play right field with that range and that arm. Virgil Dejekma. I don't know. He's Dutch. I don't know how to pronounce that. Good contact. Good avoid K. Couple of pitchers in here. 16-year-old David Guzman out of the Dominican Republic. OSA really likes him. He's a ground ball pitcher. Maybe. He's 6'8", 205 pounds as a 16-year-old. I might go David Guzman just because of his physical size. Dave Rodriguez is 6'1", 175. He's another 16-year-old. OSA likes him better as well. He's got 3 potentially good pitches. Guzman has got 4 potentially good pitches. And then Andre Solano. He's probably the best of the bunch, but that low leader, low loyalty, low work ethic concerns me. I don't know. I think I'm gonna make a run at Guzman. I think he's the one that to me intrigues me the most. Because if his ratings are closer to what OSA thinks than what we think, then he's got the potential to be really, really good. With sort of a wipeout, but he's fragile. That I don't like. He's going to spend, knowing out of the park baseball, he's going to spend 3/4 of the game injured. OSA really likes Solano. I think I might make a move for Solano. If he develops, he's going to have great stuff. He's got 3 great pitches. And And OSA thinks he's going to be an animal. 3/4 delivery, normal injury proneness. Yeah, we're going to make a run at Andre Solano. Make the offer. Cool. All right. So we are at, where's the draft? Draft is what, the 11th? Yeah. So we will play up to the 11th now, and then we will handle the draft. So we have our third game against the Cubs. First game of July is a 7-2 loss. We head to we go home for 3 games against Pittsburgh. First game. Come on. It's an 11-3 loss. So we've lost a couple games in a row now. We've lost 3 games in a row. We were 4 games over 500. Now we are 1. He told me that he wanted me to achieve a winning record. I do believe that 40-39 is a winning record. Not sure what he's looking at there. Our team efficiency is not good. I know. Our defense is not good. He's sort of happy with Candelario, but not great, and he loves the attendance. He's unhappy with our progress. Doesn't matter. You can't fire me. I have this set up as I can't be fired because I don't want to be fired. I'm not playing this to see if I can avoid being fired. I'm doing this to build the Rockies the way I want to build the Rockies. So expiring contracts, Redmond, and we crashed. Damn it. All right. Let's see how far back that sends us. I think I had it saved to, that's the wrong save. That's my Detroit Tigers save. Oh, man, it's going to go all the way back to 613. Damn it. All right. Well, I guess you live, you learn. I have to. You guys can see the main screen of my Tigers sim as I load this up. So it looks like I'm going to have to sim all that over again. Oh, that's too bad. But we'll do it. I'll just sim ahead. And yeah, I got to sim ahead again. We are 31-32. Well, that just sucks. All right. So let's, we're going to go up to the All-Star game. And we'll just kind of see where things lie, and we'll kill some time here chatting while it happens. So we've lost a bunch of games in a row. Previously, we swept the Dodgers. This time we got swept by the Dodgers. So this has been a much different run through than it was before. We're 4 games under 500 now, 5 games under 500. Back to 4 games. Yeah, this is a much different playthrough. This is really disappointing. So we are 35-39. DeGrom's ERA is ballooned up to 6.5. I'm really unhappy. No, I clicked on, what did I click on? I clicked on the team's schedule, and the damn thing just crashed on me. And now, instead of going 16-7 in June, we've gone 12-10. So we are about 4 games worse than we were before. 5 games out of a wild card. That stinks. All right, that's fine. We will overcome. Hopefully maybe we get lucky and Myers doesn't get hurt again. So let's just quickly look at, let's see, I think the All-Star voting is probably the same. Did we get the same 2 players? Yeah, Martinez is there, and Brendan Rodgers. Yep, so same 2 players. All right, I guess I'm going to save this so that it doesn't happen again. Well, that stinks. We were in good shape. I guess by the time it crashed, we were back down to 500, but we had a peak of 4 games over 500. We are currently 4 games under 500. So let's play this game and see if we can win the last game going into the All-Star game. We can't. We get blown out. We lose 12-1. Who pitched in this one? Schmidt. Oh, look at that. 8 runs and 8 hits in an inning and a third. Yeah, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed right now. Because we're back down into last place. Yeah, we were what, 40 and 36. We're now 35 and 40. So we are 8 games worse than we were the first time we did this. 36 and 41. All right. I'm going to pretend that didn't happen and that everything's cool. All right, so we go back to international free agency. We'll take a look at him here in a second. I want to run through the international signings. Eddie Cisneros looks to be the best. 6'1", $180. Only throws 91 to 93, but he's only 17 years old. Doesn't appear to be much else. Luis Rivera, OSA really likes him. And we have a fair bit of money going into our international scouting. So I feel like these guys should be scouted better than they are, but what are you going to do, I guess. Cisneros' movement is not really any good. But again, OSA really likes him. So I'm going to go with Cisneros with the hope that he ends up closer to OSA. See, OSA's, they have a ton of players here that they like a bunch. But we're going to go with Cisneros. We're going to offer him the 5. And that's going to be that. So our free agent signings from last season, DeGrom has been bad. 4-8 with a 6.04 ERA. What's really a bummer is that he had seemed to turn the corner before things crashed. He had pitched like 2 or 3 really solid games in a row. His ERA was about a full run lower than it is here. And you can see his stuff and his movement is starting to drop too. So this one could be a bit of a problem, but we knew that was a potential risk with this contract. I mean, we just knew it. We knew that he could fall off a cliff and things wouldn't go the way we wanted. But the good news is that if this is a bad season, we only have to pay him for 2 more because the vesting option is going to require 160 innings. And if he's terrible, we just won't let him pitch. So he's been pretty bad. Glasnow's been fantastic. He's actually simming him better during this playthrough than he was in the last one. 5-5 with a 2.71 ERA, 111 Ks in 80 innings. Good for almost. He's on pace for a 6-WAR season. So that one's shaping up to be pretty good. And Clevenger's been okay, up and down. 4.42 ERA, 6-4, 1.64. He's on pace for a 3-WAR season, close to 200 innings. But again, he's not making a ton of money. I mean, you can live with that type of output, from a pitcher making $10 million a year. So offensively, I mean, our bullpen has been all over the place. Claudio's been good, but he wasn't a bullpen pickup this year. Medina, we picked up off waivers. He's been very good so far this year, 3.17 ERA. Yeah, I mean, it always does, I mean, it always does. That being said, I mean, our starters ERA is 12th, so there are 4 teams in the National League who have worse starters ERAs than we do. Honestly, it's our defense. Our defensive efficiency is so bad that it's making our pitchers look worse than they are. And I don't know what to do about that because it means that we're going to have to give up someone like Josh Naylor or Heimer Candelario, because I don't want to give up Rodgers because of how well he's hitting, but defensively he's actually getting better. This was around -3 previous, so he's actually getting better. Yeah, he's actually getting better, but Candelario is really bad defensively, and Naylor is really bad defensively. So, yeah, I mean, he's 34, so I mean, 35 now. So I mean, that. Oh, I guess. Well, thankfully, we had him on OSA's rating. Our ratings are still a little bit better, but I mean, if he could duplicate, I mean, really, if he could duplicate this or something close to what he did last year. I mean, if he can give me 200 innings and give me about 3 WAR, I'm fine. You have to overpay. I mean, this isn't real life, so the statement I'm about to say doesn't exist because it's not real life. But you have to overpay pitchers to pitch in Coors. I mean, that's reality. That's not video game reality, but I can pretend it is to make myself feel better about the contract that we signed him to. Offensively, Myers is back. I think he's officially able to come off the DL. So that'll be nice to get him back in the lineup. We can send Maciel back down, call Myers up, Get Myers right back in the lineup. Get Myers right back in the lineup and move him up here. Actually, let's do this. Yeah, so we get another bat back in the lineup again, though Myers is not very good defensively. So we just have some bad defensive players, and we are going to have to do something about that because the pitching we'll never get our pitching where we want it with our defense as bad as it is. So the way I'm looking at this is we could use an upgrade at third base defensively, an upgrade at first base defensively. Those are really the two, and Hannah's been better in center field. He's getting there, but we could have an improvement in pretty much any defensive position. Trade block, has it changed at all? No, it hasn't. Yeah, nothing's really changed here. Whit Merrifield, no. I'd like Mondesi, but like I talked about at the beginning of the episode, they want an arm and a leg for him. It's ridiculous. They want Glasnow, Leiter, or Romo, and I'm not prepared to give up any of those. And Leiter's pitching really well, man. He might be due for a call-up here at the roster expansion, or if King continues to pitch poorly. Veen is hitting really well. He'll be up next season. Drew Jones is still a couple of years away. And Drew Romo will be up next season probably as our starting catcher. So our top four prospects are in pretty good shape there. I know I got sidetracked. That wasn't what we were looking at. But all right, let's keep going. We're going to go up to the draft. That's what we were doing before. I clicked on I'll show you here in a second. I clicked play and then sim to the first year player draft, and that thing just crashed on me. So I went here and then clicked here, and then it just crashed. So we got a game against the Cubs on the first. 7-6 loss in 10. Down to 6 games under 500 as we go to Pittsburgh. And we win 4-3. Geronule. Is it Geronule? Is it French? Is the ET silent at the end, or should I just call you Jaron? Yeah, DeGrom hasn't been good. DeGrom has not been good. Welcome, by the way. Welcome. He hasn't been good so far. It's been a couple of... Oh, the Bruins just scored. Nice. 29 seconds into the third period. Fantastic. It's been up and down for him. He's had... if you look at his game log, he's given up just an ass ton of hits. 10 hits, 13 hits, 9 hits, 9, 8, 9. He's had a few good starts sprinkled in there. 7 1/3, 1 run. 7 2/3, 2. 8 innings, 1 run. He's had a few good starts, but yeah, he has not been good so far. We do pick up a win here, though, 4-3 over the Pirates. Schmidt went the first 8, 3 runs, 7 hits, 9 Ks. Will Myers in his first game back picks up right where he left off, 2 for 4. This is what we were doing when it crashed. I was looking at my expiring personnel because we need to re-sign people, and the game just crashed on me. So yeah, we are. I think we were 40. We were 1 game over 500 before, so now we're 5 games under 500. So we're whatever that is, 6 games worse or 4 games worse. I can't figure out how that works, but so we got Redmond. I think I'm just going to re-sign everybody. I want to give Booker. Booker's actually been, a 4.5 ERA out of Colorado. We've gotten Bruins just scored again. Fantastic. I don't know if you guys care about hockey, but hockey's my first love. It's growing up in New England. Hockey is my thing. Oh, good. And Tom Wilson's in a fight. Tom Wilson's a putz. But anyway, hockey's my number one sport. So I can't help but watch hockey while I do this. And looks like the Capitals are finally losing their cool. So anyway, Bruins are up 3-0 there, and Chris Booker's done. I think he's done a good job as a pitching coach for us. You can see our ERA has improved by almost a full run in his 2.5 seasons with us. So I'm happy bringing Booker back. Josh Bell. I mean, offensively, we're fine. I mean, we're the Rockies. I mean, I could be the hitting coach in Colorado, and we'd probably be fine. Our bench coaches I'm okay with, and our bench coaches I'm okay with. Because I think our what do you call it? Our staff is completely happy with each other because we have a lot of personable people and a lot of people who work well with personable people. So, so I'm happy with our coaching staff, and we need to just keep going. So I want to get up to the draft so we can get through the first-year player draft, and then we can start thinking about making some moves as we lose 10-5. And we lose Jamison Hanna for 5 weeks. That's not good. Lose Jamison Hanna, and we lose 2 out of 3 to Pittsburgh. So who comes up to play center field? Maciel. And I guess we're just going to stick him right in the line and right in the lineup and bat him leadoff. Bat him 8th here. Yeah, I mean, he's good defensively, and that's really all I'm concerned about. This has gotten really bad. We were, like I said, we had gotten as high as 4 games over 500. We were, in my initial playthrough, we were 17-8 in June in the last playthrough. This one we came through 13-12, and we are 1-3 here in July. So we'll get up to the draft. We'll review the roster again. We will do the draft, and then we'll keep going. So we got 3 at home against San Diego, an 8-6 win. Clevenger pitched, didn't get the win, but our bullpen pitched okay. Gallo hit his 14th. 3-run homers, only hitting $173 this year. Can we take our first 2 in a row here against San Diego? Nope, we lose 4-2. And we win 10-5. So Clark Schmidt pitched in that one. Sanchez, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Looks like Gallo hit another home run. Maciel hit his first. Naylor homered. Again, a bullpen game as the starter doesn't make it through 5. 6 games under 500 as we go to Miami for 3. 4-3 loss. 7-6 win. And the final game before the draft, can we take 2 out of 3 in Miami? No. So the struggles continue. We are 4-6 here in July. Pitching is not getting it done. DeGrom pitched really well in this one. 7 innings, gave up 1 run. The bullpen caved in this particular game, though. So Rodgers, Adaman, Gallo homered. Gallo 3 runs scored. All right. So we had the 4th pick in this draft, and I just show you guys the draft pool here because I don't know if anybody who is here watched my last episode or not. But let's see, draft pool. There were 3. I mean, this is a pitcher-heavy draft. They have us taking Zion Rose, who we're not going to take. So we have Drew Romo. We're going to take a pitcher. And they have batters going to the first 4 players, and then Detroit getting Carson Montgomery. I'm telling you right now, Carson Montgomery won't make it past 4. He will be our pick if he falls to us. If not, if he doesn't fall to us, then it'll be Ben Guess. If he doesn't fall to us, it'll be Thomas White. And if none of them fall to us, we will likely still take a pitcher, as it's definitely a pitcher-heavy draft. You see here there are a lot of good 3-star and up starting pitchers. Nate Savino, Jackson Finley was another good one. Really developed. It's just not a very good hitter draft. I mean, there are a couple of decent players in here, but nobody that I would take with 4. So hopefully Montgomery does fall to 5 or to 4, and we can just take him and call it a day. But let's get to it, shall we? Let's get to the draft and see what happens. So the Marlins, with the first pick, take Thomas White. So they took one of those 4-star pitchers, which was to be expected. Second pick, Kansas City, takes Carson Montgomery. And this is exactly what I thought was going to happen, where they said that it was going to be batter, and then a pitcher. And Ben Guess is likely to go 3rd. Oh, Johnny Shicoli. Okay, so that leaves us, that gives us Ben Guess. 4 good pitches, 96 to 98. He's already 23 years old, so he'll probably start in Double A. I would guess either high A ball or Double A. We'll take a look at some of the other options here. We got Ross Dunn, who's a 21-year-old who's not all that developed. I guess he's not bad. He's got a 30 control, 2 really good pitches. The third isn't quite there yet. So I don't think he would be the pick. Jackson Finley is pretty good, 55, 56, 66, 4 good pitches. He's 22. He wants $3 million less than Ben Guess does. But I think Guess is the pick. What do you guys think? Anybody watching want to put in your 2 cents, as it were? I think Guess is the obvious pick. I was hoping Montgomery would fall to us. We aren't going to get that lucky, but I think Guess is the no-brainer pick here for us. I'm going to throw him in there, and we'll wait 30 seconds to see if anybody has any thoughts. But that's my take is Ben Guess. I went into it thinking that I was going to take one of those top pitchers if they were there. One of them is there, so I feel like I should take him. He's a neutral, doesn't have ground ball, fly ball tendencies, fit comfortably into the middle of a big league rotation. Where would he start? What league would he start in? Probably Double A. Just looking at his ratings, he would probably start. Yeah, the movement isn't great for Colorado, but it doesn't look like really anybody had... oops, let me switch this back. Doesn't look like anybody had great movement. Ross Dunn's movement was better, but he's not nearly as good a pitcher. If that changeup doesn't develop, he's a 2-pitch pitcher, which means he's a reliever. Jackson Finley has got better movement. Better movement. The control's not as good. The stuff's not as good. And Guess has got better pitches. I feel like Guess is the pick. Finley's another option, but I feel like Guess is the pick. Just the stuff and the control is significantly better than what we're getting out of Finley. Although he's a year older, which means the development, he might be closer to fully developed, and these ratings may not be legit. OSA likes them about the same, I guess. What do they say about Finley? May not have the talent to anchor a rotation, but would likely be a number 2 guy for most teams. This is tougher than I thought. So Finley is younger. Better movement. Not as good control. Actually, let's do it like this. Can we compare the two of them? Pitching. Okay. So right now, right this second, Finley is the better pitcher because he's got better stuff, better movement, better control right this minute. Long term, Guess is going to have better stuff, better control. The movement's going to edge to Finley. He's got curveball, fastball, sinker, changeup. He's got fastball, curveball, changeup, and a screwball. So he's got 4 pitches that are more developed. I think we're looking at sort of a stereotypical higher floor for Jackson Finley, but a higher ceiling for Guess. And we have to sort of figure out what we think is more important. Guess or Finley? Guess or Finley? Guess or Finley? I went into this saying that I was going to take Guess if he was the one there, so that's what I'm going to do. And that may come back to bite me, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Guess. So let's go ahead and do our first pick, or our next pick, and let's take a look at the batters now. Yeah, this is just a really, really weak, offensive draft. Alex Freeland's not bad. Well, actually, Alex Freeland's pretty damn good. Capital scored crap. Freeland is pretty damn good. They have him listed as a shortstop for some reason. And he could already play third base in the big leagues. there another pitcher we want to take? Hunter Barco. Yeah, there are a lot of 2.5-star pitchers here, so I think we go the batter route this round because one of those pitchers will be there next round. So I think we're going to take Alex Freeland. He wants below demand, which is good too. So we'll take Freeland, and we'll move on to our next pick. I've taken Corey Collins before. He's turned into a monster. I drafted him in a save that I have going on offline with the Red Sox, and he out of the draft was a 2.5-star, 5-star catcher that I was able to draft with like the 21st pick or something like that. It was ridiculous. But I don't think I want to make that move right now. We don't really need a catching prospect. So, pitchers. We got Will Sanders, who we took in our Tigers playthrough. He's actually turned into a really good pitcher in my Tigers playthrough. Jaron, I don't know if you're aware. I don't know if you've followed this playthrough, but on my channel, which is at Around the World Sports, I have a Detroit Tigers playthrough going on over there, which is in like the 4th or 5th season. So that one's going pretty well for us. The Tigers are playing super well in that series, better than I'm doing here for sure. So we need. I think I'm going to take a pitcher. Here, and I think it's going to be Hunter Barco. OSA doesn't really like him, but he's got 3 good pitches. He's a lefty. He's 22. I don't know. 94 to 96. I don't know. Maybe I go after. Where was that ground ball pitcher? Spencer Miles. And that stuff is just awful. It's just awful. But he's got good movement, good control, 3 decent pitches. He's a ground ball pitcher. He only wants $200,000. I mean, I don't care if he doesn't strike people out, but if he does not giving up home runs and he's not walking players, high leader, high work ethic, ground ball pitcher, I think I'm going to take Spencer Miles. It seems like a odd pick, but I think I'm going to take Spencer Miles. All right, so let's keep going. Oh, I guess it's our pick again. We have a bunch of picks here. Oh, we have a comp pick. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Draft log. This is what I want to look at. Oh, no. Okay, so it just simmed ahead really quickly. It teaches me to not pay attention. All right, so it's our pick. It's our pick. Hunter Barco is still there. Let's take a look at the batters, see what's available. Not a whole hell of a lot. Michael Brown, good power, good eye. Do we have any pitchers that are good hitters as well? No. I think I'm going to take Barco with this pick. I was going to take him with the last pick, but since he's still there now, I think I'll take him here. Auto draft. Okay, so it's our pick. What round are we in? In the 6th round? All right. Miles Jansen. Calvin Harris. We don't really, I mean, I guess you don't draft based on position in Major League Baseball, right? You don't draft because you need a catcher. You just draft the best possible players and kind of go from there. Excuse me. Tim McHugh, 21 years old, goes to Tennessee. Put up a 920 OPS. Pretty decent defensive outfielder. Looks like he'll develop some gap power, a little bit of home run power, some decent plate discipline. Meh. Not a lot of great players left in this one. I think we'll take Calvin Harris. He looks pretty developed as a catcher. Not a bad defensive catcher. Looks like he'll be able to hit for some power. Going to strike out a ton, but that's okay. Calvin Harris. Are there any pitchers left? Couple of 2.5-star guys. Carter Smith, extreme ground ball. Good stamina. I mean, he could potentially be a starter if his control ever improves. Sure, that works. He's free. Let's go to batters again. And not a lot of great options. Not a lot of great options at all. But you know, we'll see what we can do here. Robbie Ashford, no. I keep coming back to Michael Brown because of the power and discipline. You know, I mean, if he has one of those random talent bumps like OSA tends to give every once in a while, and he could be something. He's 6'5", 220 pounds, a big kid, got good power, sure. Michael Brown out of the University of Washington. All right. Now let's just look for particular stats and see what we can come up with. Josh Rivera. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Can't really field, but out of the University of Florida, got good home run power, decent gap power. Hit 276 with 13 home runs as a junior. Take Josh Rivera. Any contact players left available? Just Miles Jansen, who's a pitcher and not a very good one at that. Carter Young. Yeah, Carter Young doesn't seem like he should have fallen that far. Seems like Ashford has that speed. Yeah, he does. You know, and it's I was watching somebody else on I was watching somebody else's playthrough on YouTube, and one of the things he says he likes to do towards the end of a draft is draft a player who just has a ton of speed, because again, you could get that random talent bump, and all of a sudden you have a player who's, you know, got some good offensive stats and also has speed. So I think what I'm going to do, though, is I think I'm going to make a run at Carter Young, because he's also got some speed and he actually has some hitting ability, and we will see if Ashford is there in the next round. And of course he's not. That's fine. I guess that teaches me to think. We do have a couple guys in here, like Isaiah Bennett could actually be a I mean, he's got some good outfield ratings. He's got a ton of speed. So I think maybe we take Isaiah Bennett and turn him into an outfielder and see what we can get out of him. I don't know how much room for development he has left, given that he's already 22. But he's definitely a better offensive prospect than he is a pitcher. So we'll take him. We're in round 11, so I think we'll do one or two more rounds and then let the... Yeah, he would have. Yeah, that's a good point. I lost him, unfortunately. But yeah, that's a good point. He would have made a good fourth outfielder. I guess you don't... At this point, you're just looking for players who can fill roles, right? Like, you're not looking for players who are going to be superstars, because that's not going to happen. But I think Kemp Alderman is probably that pick. He can play catcher and first base. Went to Ole Miss. He's only 20. All right, now let's make one more pick. Let's find an outfielder. Excuse me. Good defensively, good speed. Can't really hit. Walter Jenkins can't hit. I think Corbin Grantham is going to be our final pick. So we will let the AI do the rest. And that's that. All right, so let's negotiate. Guess is going to be the big one, obviously, 9.5. The rest of these guys, we're just going to give them what they want, because it's not a lot of money. $250 for Miles, and then $700 for Barco. And then I have to look, because I've already forgotten the names of these players. Draft history. Which one was it? It was Bennett. We were going to make Bennett into a... What happens if we make him a center fielder? He becomes 2 stars. What happens if we make... I guess, I mean, what he's rated at doesn't really matter. Yeah. I mean, I think a corner outfielder is probably the way to go. He's got some good speed. If the offense develops, great. If it doesn't, it didn't cost us anything. So that is the draft. We are 40-47. We're going to keep going here. We're going to try to go at least up to the trade deadline. So we're 40-47, 19 games out of first, 5 games out of a wild card spot. You know, are we buyers or are we sellers? You know, we have a lot of teams to crawl over here, but I think maybe we give it a week. We'll see where we stand in a week, and readdress and see if we need to make a move, or if we need to pick up somebody, or if we want to talk about maybe moving on from someone like Candelario, or you know, I hate to move on from Will Myers. He's been so good for us, but defensively we're just a train wreck, and that's really been our biggest issue this year. Not ratings, fielding stats. It's really been our biggest issue this year has been our defense. McKinstry, Maciel, Gallo, and Sanchez are the only players who are net positive in zone rating. Everyone else has been negative. So it's just we're so bad on the defensive side of the ball. So yeah, let's keep going. It's taking on Cincinnati. So we'll go up to this series against Atlanta. We'll see where we stand, see if we've been able to make a bit of a run. If we have, maybe we'll turn into buyers. If we haven't, we'll start to maybe look at selling off some pieces, and maybe we give Jack Leiter a bit of a run here early on this season, rather than waiting until rosters expand. So first game against Cincinnati, it's a 4-3 win. It's nice to see. 4-for-4 for Ali Sanchez. Brendan Rodgers 2-for-4. Gallo with 2 hits, including his home run. King went first 5. Only gave up 3 hits. Bullpen pitched well for us, though. So that's good start to the post-draft. Game 2. 4-2 loss in 13. And can we win 2 out of 3 against Cincinnati? We can. We win 6-5. All right. So it looks like it's going to be another bullpen victory, as we gave up 4 in the 7th. DeGrom went 6 2/3. Another rough outing for DeGrom. 9 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Maciel hit another home run. So he's done pretty nice since stepping in for Hannah. 263, 311, 404, but getting it done defensively, which is the important thing. And let's take on Arizona in Arizona. And we lose 8-5. 4-2 loss. Yeah, things are going the wrong direction. 8-0 loss. All right, so I think that settles it. We have gone 6-10 here in July after posting a winning record in June. I think we are going to be sellers here, and I don't know what there is to... I mean, I guess nobody on our big league roster is safe, because this isn't what we are, this isn't what we're all about. What we're all about is our prospect, our top prospects: Drew Jones, Drew Romo, Jack Leiter, Zach Veen. These are the guys that are going to be up next year, that are going to make an impact. So I guess nobody is ultimately safe. I don't want to move Gallo. I like having Joey Gallo on the team. I think he brings a lot defensively. He's very good. He's very, very good in right field. When he gets hot, I mean, he leads the team he's got 55 RBIs. He's still on pace for almost 100 RBIs on the year. The average is tough to carry. Time to trade Gallo, Myers, and DeGrom. I don't know. I don't know if I want to move all of them, though. That's sort of the thing. Like, I don't know. And I don't know how much of this series you've watched, but we have Gallo signed. It's not a huge contract. It's a 4-year deal, $100 million, so $25 a year for the next 3 years after this one. So it's not an enormous deal. Myers was brought in on a one-year contract for $4 million, so he's super cheap. Candelario was brought in on a 1-year deal. We picked him up from Detroit. He's a free agent after this season. So I'm thinking at a bare minimum, Candelario, Myers. I would like to keep Naylor, but Naylor's so bad defensively as well. that I don't think his bat justifies his place in our lineup. And I hate to say that because he was our first. Josh Naylor was our first big move. We picked him up in our first season for German Marquez. And Marquez is doing. I mean, he's below average in Cleveland, so I wonder how bad he'd be here. But when we traded for Naylor, he was a 5-star potential player. So I think we have some players that it might be in our best interest to see what we can get. So let's start shopping some players around, and also understand that we have trading on the absolute hardest difficulty. So picking up players is not going to be simple. But we'll look. Patrick Sandoval. He's not bad. 4 good pitches. Manny Margot. I mean, we talked about wanting defense, but I don't want to pay that kind of money for him. What if we eat the contract? Because I mean, we don't need the money. Veen is going to replace Myers. Veen got to replace Myers in left field this year and next, so Myers is probably the first to shop. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. That's a good point, especially if we're going to hang on to Gallo. If we're going to hang on to Gallo and keep Gallo in right, then Veen's destination is probably left. I mean that's a solid point. Dustin Fowler. Yeah, see, we're not really getting many offers for one Heimer Candelario, which isn't a surprise. Sandoval might be the move just because he's a better pitcher than almost anything we have on our roster. We could stick him in the lineup for King, and call it a day there. What if we did this? What if we went like that? And we added King, who has been terrible. And will they give us anything additional? He's the number 70 prospect. They likely won't give me a top 100. Yeah. Let's just take a look. Yeah, we don't have anybody who makes that work. And this is the problem with playing on the hardest level. There's just nothing available. Like, teams just don't want to give up prospects. Deshaun Knowles, we could get him in the Rule 5 next year if we really wanted him. Keep looking. Sorry, I just got distracted by the hockey game for a second. William Holmes, nah. Yeah, they don't really have. Alexander Ramirez isn't bad. He's a 20-year-old. I don't know that they would give him to me. Yeah, nothing to talk about. I'm not giving up Acevedo or Leiter. So, I mean, I can do this without eating any of the contract. And I think this deal makes sense. He's a 26-year-old. He's arbitration eligible. Was pretty good back in 2021. Struggled last season. Has struggled this season, but it looks like they've bounced him around a bit between the bullpen and the rotation. So maybe if we just stick him in the rotation and call it a day, he'll be fine. And this feels like an okay deal. I don't like trading position players for players that are classified as relievers. I always feel like I'm not getting enough. But in this particular case, I think I'm okay with it. Bruins just scored again. Nice. We don't have anybody that works. Max Alba, he was a free agent signing. And Alba's depth, I mean, I guess at a minimum he's yeah. You like the deal? Yeah, me too. I'm always uncomfortable about trading a position player for someone who's classified as a reliever. I always feel like I'm being ripped off a little bit, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger. Patrick Sandoval. So that means we are immediately going to turn and actually we have to, who's going to play third base for us now? Ataman, I guess. I guess now, no, McKinstry. We're going to stick McKinstry at third against lefties, or against righties, and against lefties, we'll play Atamon at third. So we do need to call up a bat now, and it doesn't really matter. I really want to leave Veen and Romo in the minors this year. You know, you got that what do you call it? The time spent in the bigs. You know, you got that clock, the ARB clock running. So there's always that concern, but McKinstry can play all positions, so I think we can call up an outfielder. Let's call up Celestino, and I think we are going to immediately turn around and see what we can get from Michael King, who has not been very good for us this season. Five minutes left in the hockey game. Bruins are winning. Yeah, it's nothing. Okay, so he will likely just get sent down and then non-tendered in the offseason. I don't suspect that that's going to make any difference. Let's just take a look and see at all the offers. See if it changes anything. Well, it does. It gives us options. But I don't know that any of them are good options. Yeah, none of them are particularly good options. So Dansby Swanson's not terrible. But we don't need another backup infielder. All right, so that means King is going to get sent down. And we bring up Sandoval. And we put him in the starting rotation. What does that do to his ratings? Okay, it doesn't drop terribly. I mean, those are all above average ratings. So I think that ends up being a pretty good deal for us. So the next move, we talked about Will Myers. And let's see what we can get for Will Myers. So just start with eating the contract, and we'll work backwards from there. I mean, it's not going to be much. It's only going to be a couple $1 million when it's all said and done. Yeah. And here's the problem with this being a video game and not real life, right? Is you look at someone, and I ran into this in my first season with the Rockies with CJ Crone. If you look, CJ Crone in our first season was hitting, where is he? Right here. You can see he was hitting .279 with 31 home runs and 74 RBIs in 93 games. And in real life, you look at those numbers and you go, CJ Crone's having a great season. He can be someone who can really help a team moving forward, and at least through the season, provide the rest of the season, provide that offensive punch, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The computer, the video game, looks at him as a 2.5-star player. It doesn't look at this. It doesn't look like doesn't look at what he's doing during the year. It looks at this and it looks at this and says he doesn't have any value. We're not interested. So we ended up having to trade. We got Zach McKinstry for CJ Crone, which wasn't a terrible deal, but in real life, I feel like you could have gotten more for Crone with how he was doing. And it's the same this year with us with Will Myers. Will Myers is having a really, really good offensive season. 925 OPS, 127 OPS plus, 14 home runs, 46 RBIs in 66 games. He's only making $4 million. But the AI doesn't look at that. It looks at this and says he's not a very good player. So, there are a couple of, decent names in here. Again, I'm not going to move him for a reliever. Michael Grove, no. Tristan Lutz is a meh. Let's take a look. I can't shop any more players. So let's finish the day, and we'll move ahead a day, and we'll try again. All right, so we lost 8-7. So, yeah, we are... the wheels are falling off here a little bit in July, which is a little disappointing. I thought things were going to be... Things were looking different. Yeah, we can't even get a prospect for him. But I guess ultimately what it comes down to is we aren't likely to re-sign him, so we may as well get what we can get and call it a day. Clevenger's at a 4.92. DeGrom is at a 5.85. Glasnow's been good, so I don't want to move him. I don't think anybody's going to want DeGrom, but we will take a look. Yeah. No one wants DeGrom, and I'm not going to eat the contract. So let's take a look at some of these starters. And the problem is I don't want to be that GM that just, things are difficult at the beginning of the season and we just dump players. We knew that we likely weren't going to be a top team this year. We knew that. So the plan all along was to focus on the pitching staff this past season and to focus on the offense this upcoming season. And I want to continue to do that. Jordan Adams, very good defensively. Palacios, no, yeah. For what we're paying Clevenger, it's just simply not worth what we're being offered. But there are other options. I mean, there are other players we can move. I think Naylor might be an option if we can find a much better defensive first baseman. I'm getting at least some offers for Josh Naylor. That's a positive. Are any of them any good? That's the question. Not particularly. Chavis isn't terrible. He's better defensively. Ian Happ's really bad in this. Jesse Winker, again, good offense, terrible defense. Daz Cameron's really good defensively. If I want to improve the defense, this is a good way to go about starting to do that, is picking up Daz Cameron. He's only 26. He's the same age as Naylor. So that's a possibility. Not hitting all that well, but he's got a 2 WAR. But again, trading him for an outfielder doesn't really help me long term. He might be better than Hanna. Might be better than Jamison Hanna, though. And in which case, maybe we package Naylor and Hanna for Cameron and somebody else. I don't know, just something to think about. Dodgers want to give us Caleb Ferguson. I don't want a reliever. Yeah, there's just not much here. We may run with what we have because we're just not getting any offers. Kyle Lewis, he's really good defensively. Maybe Kyle Lewis? He's arbitration. He's 28 already, though. He's 28. If he was 25, I would have jumped all over that. But at 28, I don't think so. Basabe, no. David Fletcher? How is he defensively? He's just as bad as what we have currently out there. You can't play defensively. Yeah, problem is none of these players are really any better than what we're giving up. So, let's go back to Detroit, because I don't mind the idea of Daz Cameron, but not necessarily for Josh Naylor. And I know the Tigers minor league system pretty well because I'm going through a playthrough with them right now. But obviously it's changed a little. Colton Welker is, yeah, that's right, we traded him here. They of Yasiel Puig. Riley Green's developed. Wow, he's developed nicely in this one. He didn't develop in my playthrough at all. I can move that's a good point. I can move Myers to first if I trade Naylor. I like Lewis too, but he's 28, and I don't know that. I mean, do you like him better than Daz Cameron? Cameron's 26. He's put up better offensive numbers, and I can get that number to increase with Daz Cameron very, very quickly if I just stick him in left field. Kyle Lewis. Excuse me. Very good defensively. He's got better contact, better home run power than Cameron. Very sure-handed, 25 home runs. What do you think about this deal? Would this deal make us better off? Maybe. He doubts it could hurt. All right, well, if we're going to do that, then we're going to move Jamison Hanna as well, because Hanna won't. We have enough backup outfielders as it is with Celestino and Maciel. So if we move Naylor and Hanna, can we get anything else from... They won't give us Marte, clearly. He's the top prospect in baseball. Look at that. He's pretty good. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do here. Kyle Lewis, he's 28 years old. He's arbitration eligible. He hasn't hit over 230 in 3 seasons. But he's putting up 1.4 WAR because his defense is fantastic. Naylor's defense is terrible. This would improve us in a couple different positions. I want to see something. I want to see if we did this, what would we do to our lineup? So that would move Myers to first. We'd put Kyle Lewis in center. And in left field, I guess we could... I mean, we have any number of players who can play left for the rest of this season. Rivas, Celestino, Maciel could all play left through the rest of this season. Can we do it without giving up Naylor? I'm terrified of giving up Naylor just because he was our first major pickup, and I just don't want to move him. He needs a little bit more. So could we give up Hanna and something else? Nothing from that list. I'm crazy about giving up. What about one of our multiple left fielders? Dominic Fletcher. That doesn't move the needle at all. Celestino can play all 3 outfield positions. Maciel can play all 3 outfield positions. Rivas can play first and third, but he's the best bat of the bunch. Yeah, so it's going to take Naylor. Okay. It's going to take Naylor. Can I get literally anything else? They have 2 of the top 5 prospects in the majors on their team. I would like somebody young. I mean, that would help. Maybe Cameron is better. You thought Lewis's stats were better. Yeah, I mean, Lewis is better. Actually, I think let's look at here. This is where we were. So if we go to Daz Cameron, Cameron's 2 years younger. He's making the league minimum. Offensively, he's about 20 points higher. His on-base is higher. His slugging is higher. Defensively, he's doesn't look like he's as good in center field as Lewis is, but it looks like he's really good in right field. This is tough. This is a tough one. So Daz Cameron's younger. Not quite as good in center field, but better than what we're currently playing with out there. Lewis has potentially more powers. Lewis had. What's weird about their numbers is Lewis has as his contact is about 20 points higher than Daz Cameron is. His home run power is higher. The only thing that Cameron has over Lewis is his eye, and even that I think was negligible. No, even his eye is yeah, they're almost identical. So gap power is the only thing. I think you have good outfielders. Can I get an infielder for Naylor or Myers? And I did not. It doesn't appear that I can. We'll do veterans and see if anything shows up. Nothing that would knock my socks off. Like I'd like a third baseman maybe. Someone who can play a solid third base. It's like all outfielders and pitchers. I don't want a 32-year-old Colton Wong. Yairo Munoz. I mean, he's got a pretty decent bat, but he's not good defensively, so that doesn't really help me. Extreme fly ball pitcher in Colorado. That wouldn't play well. Ty France is a decent infielder, but he's out for the year. Also 29. There really is. It doesn't appear to be anybody that I would say is. Yeah, I mean, there's really nobody here that I would say is lights out. What if we combine the offers? I mean, I hate doing stuff like this because I don't want to trade two of my better players for. Oh, I gotta move ahead a day. All right, we lose again. We lose Tim Hill for 3 months. That's fine. Is it time to call up Jack Leiter? Time to call up the number 33 prospect in baseball? I don't think he's quite ready yet. So we're just going to call up Matt Peacock, I guess. Doesn't really matter. We'll go back to shop player. So Naylor. What happens if we do Naylor and Myers? I'm not crazy about doing that, but if we can get one really good player for two okay players, then maybe that's what we do. Ryan Mountcastle, he can hit. He's out for the year, but he's shown some pop. He's a decent defensive he's below average at first base. He's not that much better than Naylor. This is super frustrating. I love how the Dodgers keep wanting to just throw their pitchers at us. Yeah, there's just nothing here, man. Cole Tucker. Cole Tucker might not be a bad get. He could play third base for us. I mean, he's putting up a 3.2 WAR. I don't know that I would want to trade both of those guys for Cole Tucker. But defensively, I mean, we'd stick him at third, where I would assume he would be better. We'll go back and we'll take a look at that in a second. I just want to see if there's anything else here. Evan White, I mean, he's a good defensive first baseman. Can't really hit to save his life, and his contract is a bit of an abomination. Kind of liking that Cole Tucker move. Victor Robles, if I want to improve my outfield defense. Let's go back and talk to Pittsburgh. See if we can pick up Cole Tucker. Now, I'd rather not move both of these guys for Tucker. So, I mean, if I can only hold on to one, I think it makes sense to hold on to Naylor because we have him cost controlled. They like it. They like this deal. They like Will Myers for Cole Tucker. I think this makes sense. We get someone who is, he's 27. He's still arbitration eligible, only in his second full season. Offense is down a little bit this year, but he had a really, really good year last year, can play multiple positions really well. I think this is the move. I think that's a good move for Will Myers, someone that we weren't going to re-sign previously. Are there any prospects that we can get along the way? We have 3 pitching prospects right at the top of their list. Is there anybody else here that they'd be willing to give up? Hudson Head, just to get some more outfield depth? No? Okay. I think we may just do this one-on-one. Figueroa, no. Sammy Ciani? Is he related to Michael Ciani, who's the other minor league outfielder? He's got some pop in his bat. Smith Najiba. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, we can do that. We can absolutely do this. We will give you Thomas Farr. That's wonderful. Can we keep going? No reason not to keep going here, right? And trying to pick up as much as we possibly can. CJ Van Eck. He's 24 in high A ball. No. Andy Rodriguez. Looks like a decent defensive catcher. We get Ciani too? No. For Acevedo or lighter, and I'm not going to do that. All right, I'm gonna pull the trigger here. Cole Tucker and Cannon Smith Najiba for Thomas Farr and Will Myers. We weren't going to re-sign Myers, and we get someone who can potentially step in at third base for us. So Cole Tucker is our new third baseman. So let's put him on the big league roster. We will make him a third baseman. And he will be our everyday third baseman. So that means McKinstry goes back to the bench. And we bring in Alfonso Rivas because he can get on base, and I like that. Cole Tucker is our third baseman. Sit him on the bench, and who plays Celestino is going to play left against lefties. No, Maciel will play left. Celestino will play center. All right. So that's a couple of moves. And I would really like to do this without gutting the team. I don't want to, again, I'm not looking, I knew we weren't going to win this year. I was hopeful that we could stay near 500. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case, but that's fine. We still have a pretty solid pitching staff, 1 through 5, even if their stats aren't showing it. Our offense is hanging in there, third highest scoring team in the National League. We just have to fix our pitching, and I think one of the ways we fix our pitching is through our defense. And I think we just improved that, bringing Cole Tucker in to play third base. And we're not done. We may continue to look at Naylor, so let's sim ahead another day and see how things go. So we win 3-2. Who got the start in this one? Glasnow got the start, went 5 1/3. Gave up 3 hits, 1 run, walked 4, struck out 8. Martinez got the save. Let's take a look at the mail and see if there's anything there that we want to take a look at. So we signed all of our players. So we got to go back and we got to take a look at our rookies. So Ben Guess isn't going to start in rookie ball. We're going to start him in high A ball, I think. We will disable AI promotion. Alex Freeland is going to start in A ball. He's a little further developed. Drew Jones hitting 260, 319, 441. I'm going to leave him where he is. Hunter Barco, we're going to start here as well in A-ball at 22. Michael Brown. I mean, he's 1.5 star. We really should start him in A-ball, so that's where he will start. Calvin Harris was the catcher, right? Yeah. And we're going to start him there as well because he looks pretty developed for a 21-year-old catcher. And yeah, I like to disable promotion for pretty much all of my prospects that I feel like are going to have a run. So Spencer Miles, we're going to start him up here as well, just due to their age. Smith Najiba, we're going to put in AAA, and we'll put him on the 40-man. We'll probably call him, I mean, not that we necessarily need another outfielder, but a power-hitting bat probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for us to have. Carter Young. Oh, that's right, we drafted him this past season. He looks to be pretty good, actually, for a 10th round pick. So we'll disable the promotion on him. Anybody deserve to be called up? Jacob Kostyshak, I think, does. Yeah, he deserves to be called up to the majors, actually. So who is not getting it done? Matt Peacock. Right, we just called him up. So we'll send him down, and we will call up Kostyshak as a 25-year-old and put him in as a middle reliever. I mean, our bullpen hasn't been bad. I mean, you look at some of the ERAs, our bullpens have been fine. Our bullpen's been fine. Our pitching staff, DeGrom is not having a great year, but Glasnow's been fine. Schmidt's been fine. Clevenger, all things considered, has been fine. So I think we'll be okay. We're at the 21st, so we'll send ahead another couple days, and then we'll take a look at the trade block, and maybe we'll look at moving on from another player or two. So we lose to Oklahoma City. We beat Oklahoma City 3-1. Sandoval in his first start goes 8 shutout innings. So solid pickup there, Jaron. We had eight shutout innings out of Sandoval in his first start for us. That's what you like to see. We got Schmidt going here, so we'll play this final game against Oklahoma City, and then take a look at at possible some more trades. So we win again. So we win 2 games in a row, 3-1 and 7-1. Who pitched in this one? Schmidt. Schmidt pitched well, 7 1/3, 3 hits, ERA down to 4.01. Cole Tucker with his first extra base hit for us. How's he looking at third base through 3 games? -0.2 zone rating. Okay, well, I guess you can't read a lot out of 3 games, but Rivas 3 hits, 2 RBIs. Rodgers 3 hits, up to 354 on the season. I think he's leading the National League in hitting. Yeah, he is. Leading the majors in hitting by a substantial amount, actually. All right, so we are 19 games out of first. We are 7 games out of the wild card with like 9 teams ahead of us. I think we're pretty much on the outside looking in. So I think what we're going to do is anything here for us. Nope. Ivan Nova for Ian Happ. Nick Madrigal gets hurt. Bruised thigh for Nick. Let's look at the trade block. There's usually no one on the trade block that's of any interest, but occasionally you can find someone in their mid-20s, and someone's 26, 27 that you can lock up long term, and don't appear to be anybody like that here. Jordan Hicks, though, might not be a bad pickup. He's only making $1.3 million. He's an extreme ground ball pitcher. I mean, okay, so yeah, I'll give you. Oh, do I want to give you Rollison? No, I don't. But I will give you somebody. I am going to make this happen. Jordan Hicks he's a free agent. That's a problem. If I can get him without giving up anything of real substance, if I can give him like a B tier or a C tier prospect, I would be fine with that. So let's kind of run through this. Would you take Frias? It's close. Okay. Well, we're going to be able to do it here. So Tony Bullard. Cool. You can have Bullard and Frias for Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks immediately becomes the best reliever on our team. And who gets the boot? I think it's got I think it's got to be Conine. I think we just send him back to Houston. I mean, Glavine is a ground ball pitcher, though. Dolis is a ground ball pitcher. Kostichuk is ground ball. Wendelken is a fly ball, but he's actually been our best reliever. Hamilton is a ground ball. So literally every one of our pitchers, except for our closer and our bullpen arm, who's been the best, are ground ball pitchers. And maybe we just send Kostichuk down for now because we can. So we can bring Hicks up right away. Let's make him a stopper. And what does Jordan Hicks want for an extension? A lot of money. Okay. Well, that may not be possible, but we didn't give up anything really of substance to get him. So maybe we keep him and maybe we do this. Maybe we see what interest is out there for a Jordan Hicks and turn around and flip him. I saw some really interesting names in there. I saw a Joe Adele, Braden Shoemake. Doesn't really have a position, but has a bat. I mean, he would immediately be our best first baseman. Tanner Scott. He's making a lot of, well, not making a lot of money, but more than I'd like to give up. Michael Kopech. That guy's pretty good, but he's an extreme fly ball pitcher. That's it, right? That's it right there. It's Joe Adele. And then we just figure out what to do from there. I think we would be absolutely crazy not to make this deal. Jordan Hicks for Joe Adele, and then we sort out what to do afterwards. I mean, Adele can play center acceptably, it appears. You can't endorse... Really? I mean, that feels like a no-brainer to me. He's really, really good in right, slightly below average in center, but he's only 24. I feel like this is a no-brainer move for us. He's making the league minimum. Jordan Hicks was on the trade block, and we can treat this as a flip. I can't see a good reason not to pull the trigger here. I'm going to do it. Joe Adele for Jordan Hicks. All right, so fan interest increased slightly. So we pick up Joe Adele, and we'll call Kostichuk back up. And then we're just doing all sorts of crazy crap with our roster here. So I think Fletcher, he can play left and right pretty well. Rivas, Maciel. How's Maciel doing? 224. Celestino is only 1 for 4. I think we're going to send Maciel down. We're going to call up Joe Adele. And we're going to stick Joe Adele in our lineup. He's not going to bat leadoff. I think Rodgers will bat leadoff. I'm going to put Adele in center. I think we're going to do something like that against righties. And against lefties, get Adele back out there in center. We'll put Celestino. Actually, we'll put Adele in left. No? Yes, we'll put Adele in left. We'll get him some playing time in left. And we're going to do this. All right, so that works. We pick up Joe Adele for Jordan Hicks, who we picked up for a couple of nothing players. That gets us younger. That gets us a little bit more pop in the bat, and somebody who I think is a pretty good defensive outfielder. I mean, he appears to be. Let's get a scouting report and see what he actually is. My guess is he's going to be a 3-star player, but we will see. So now, what do we do? We're at the 24th. So they profile Joe, but no, they have him as 3.5 star. Okay, good. They have him as a 3.5 star player. That is perfect. Good home run power, good gap power, good contact. Going to strike out a ton, but that's fine. Let's go back and let's look at the trade block again, because I did not expect that to happen. Jordan Hicks, that was a blessing. He was cheap. They were looking to get rid of him. We picked him up for next to nothing. Excuse me. Are there any batters here? Still got Mondesi on here. He's making more than I want to pay, and since we're not in contention, I'm not all that interested in picking that money up. Nick Ahmed would be a really solid pickup for us at shortstop, maybe as a free agent. We'll wait and see what happens this offseason, but I could easily see making a one-year move for Nick Ahmed. He is an elite shortstop. Jeff McNeil, who we traded to Tampa, is having a really nice year. All right, so let's one more time. Let's play a game here against Washington. Another win. That's 3 wins in a row for us. Now we win 7-5. Joe Adele goes 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 knocked in his first game. Cole Tucker struggling with the bat a bit, but that's okay. Celestino, couple hits and an RBI. DeGrom goes 5, gives up 6 hits, 3 runs, strikes out 7. Medina picks up the win. Let's keep going. So we've won 4 of 5 now. Take on Washington again, and we win 4-3 and 12. So the winning streak continues. 2 for 5, 3 RBIs for Fletcher. Glasnow got the start, went 5, gave up 2 runs. Hamilton picks up the win in relief. Our bullpen pitched really well. Look at that. 2, 3, 4, 5 2/3 innings of shutout ball from everybody other than Claudio. Cool. All right, let's go back to the schedule. It's the 27th. And we win 9-4. So we've now won 5 in a row. So looks like some of these deals have really made an impact. And not necessarily, well, I guess, I mean, Tucker 3 hits and 3 runs scored here in this one. How's he doing defensively? Yeah, the zone rating is still not very good, but it's better than what we were getting before. Joe Adele, two more hits, another home run. So Joe Adele is looking strong for us. Clevenger went 6 2/3 to even his record at 7-7. So we've now won 5 games in a row here. We are within 6 games of 500. We've won 5 in a row and 6 out of 7. We take on Milwaukee for 3. Let's see what happens here in Milwaukee. We win again, 3-2 and 12. So we are on a hot streak. Cole Tucker, 2 more hits, 2 more runs scored. Rivas, 2 for 5. Riley Adams got the start, went 2 for 5 with an RBI. Brendan Rodgers, 2 hits out of the leadoff spot, including a home run. Sandoval pitched well again. Second good start in a row. 6 2/3. Conine gets the win. Wendelken picks up the save. So we will play one more game, and then we will see if there are any other moves we want to make from a trade perspective. We lose 5-4 there. All right, who pitched in that one? Schmidt. Okay, well, Medina got the loss. Naylor homered. McKinstry homered. Okay. All right, so we are 49 and 55. We are 5 games out of a wild card spot with 4 teams ahead of us. I don't know that we're going to have enough to get through. He hasn't been a good shortstop. If we look at the fielding stats, has it gotten any better? Not particularly. Joe Adele, we have him playing center, and he's not as good in center. You can see -3 zone rating in 5 games. But again, I mean, center field and Coors, I mean, it's a huge outfield, so, you don't expect a ton. But McKinstry, Gallo, Sanchez are all plus. Everybody else is negative. Ataman, Oswald Peraza has been terrible. Good with the bat, but the glove just isn't getting it done. And I don't know what to do, because those ratings tell me that he should be a decent shortstop. And he's just not getting it done. So I'm not entirely sure what else I can do to improve things. Naylor's actually gotten better at first. So we'll continue to let him develop. He's only 26. He's probably not going to be asking for a ton in arbitration. I just want to leave these guys in AAA for the year. I don't see any value in calling them up right now. Maybe at roster expansion, but even at roster expansion, we can only call up 2. Leiter's pitching really well. I don't know if it's going to be... They all want to be in the majors, and that's the problem. How's Guess doing? 12 innings, 2 starts. It's too early to tell. Front office, salaries. So our salaries jump next year, so who's going to be asking for a bunch of money? King, who will likely non-tender. That's really it. Well, Brendan Rodgers jumps up to $10 million. I don't want to move on from DeGrom after half a season. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense from a realism perspective. Same with Joey Gallo. Although I'm curious. All right, not much. Not much for Gallo. That's fine. So I think honestly we are, for better or worse, stuck with DeGrom and Gallo. We could move on from Clevenger. Glasnow is pitching well enough to justify his contract. Martinez, we need to hold on to because he's pitched well 2 years in a row now. I don't think there's a market for Clevenger. So we might be done with trades just because I don't think we're going to... well, there are a couple offers, but nothing of Ian Anderson that controls terrible. Not interested in any of those players. So I think we're pretty much done with making moves this year, and I'm hopeful that we can figure it out here over the last 2 months of the season. We're 6 games out of, or we're 6 games under 500. We're 5 games out of a wild card. We've got 3 very experienced starting pitchers. Sandoval's come in, done a nice job. Schmidt has pitched really well. Our bullpen has gotten better. I feel like we're in a good place. I think our defense is better now than it was before we started making any moves. We brought on Joe Adell, brought on Cole Tucker. We just have to hope that things improve. So let's go ahead and sim ahead another couple days. We win again, so we're 5 games under 500. We win 4-1. We score 3 in the 9th. Adell and McKinstry both homer in the 9th inning. That's 3 home runs for Adell in the short time that he's been with us. DeGrom pitched pretty well. 1 run in 6 1/3. Bullpen locked it down. And it is the trading deadline. So let's go ahead and get through July 31st. And we lose 4-3 and 10. Okay, so we are 50 and 56 at the trade deadline. Let's take a look at the ratings. So Naylor got better across the board. Rafael Dolis got better across the board. Wow, that's a kind of surprising. That came out of nowhere at age 35 to see that kind of jump, but I'm not gonna fight it. Cole Tucker hitting 333 since coming over. Joe Adell hitting 308. I need to see that center field rating go up, though. That's the thing. It's fine. I mean, Joe Adell is going to have a home in our lineup. I mean, he can hit. I mean, he's hit 3 home runs in 7 games, driven in 6. I'll take it. Down on the farm, Drew Romo is up to 2.5 star, 5 star, 247, 317, 409. I mean, he could already be our starting catcher. He's a better hitter than Sanchez, and he's almost as good a fielder. But again, I just don't want to rush them, and I don't want to start their clocks if I can help it. So we'll let them be a little unhappy, and then we'll call up a couple of them at roster expansion. Anybody else of note here? Not really. So Yordan Alvarez, AL Batter of the Month. Ozzy Albies, NL. Giolito wins the AL Pitcher of the Month again. Luis Castillo gets the Pitcher of the Month in the NL. AL Rookie of the Month, Matt Wallner. And in the National League, Reed Schaller. So, I mean, we've gone through and we've looked at stats a bunch of times here, but we'll do it again. And I think I might continue to sim ahead, even though I don't know that there's anybody here, but, you know, I'm having fun and I don't have anything going on. So I think I'll probably keep simming for, maybe I'll sim through August and we'll get to September in this episode. So we'll see. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Glasnow, Schmidt, DeGrom, all over 2 WAR, Clevenger 1.8, Wendelken 1.6, Medina 1.2. So we're getting some good WAR-based performances out of our pitchers. You look at the FIPS. The FIPS are pretty solid. We have a handful of pitchers. A lot of our pitchers are over that 100 ERA plus. DeGrom and Clevenger are below. For DeGrom, he's just given up too many hits. I mean, and that BABIP is crazy high. He's got up 165 hits and 129 innings. It's just not going to get it done, especially when you look at the rest of our pitching staff. The rest of these guys are at or under really 1 hit an inning. Offensively, Brendan Rodgers having a great season, 4.4 WAR. And that's about it. So Alfonso Rivas is hurt. We'll get his diagnosis. Let's keep simming ahead here as we have 2 games in Philadelphia. We lose 8-3. Rivas is out for 4 weeks. Slap him on the DL. We'll call up Maciel. And we will put... We'll stick him out there right away in left. All right, let's keep going. So we are 7 games under 500, and we beat the Phillies 6-3. Sandoval pitched in this one again, so he's been a really nice find. 2-0 in 3 starts, 1.74 ERA so far. Adamon homers, Adele goes 1 for 4. Okay. Let's keep going. 3 against the Dodgers. 6-5 loss. 12-5 win. Who pitched in this one? Got to start DeGrom. And DeGrom gets lit up again. So even when we score 12 runs, DeGrom can't pitch long enough to get the win. 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs. I don't know what we're going to do here. It hasn't been a good year. We have to hope that maybe this first year is him just settling into cores and he gets better. Gallo with his 21st. Cole Tucker hits his first with us. Naylor and Peraza. Adele with 3 more hits. So our trade deadline acquisitions looking pretty sharp so far. Can we take 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers? We cannot. Hannah's eligible to come off the DL. That's great. So we will send down Maciel and send down Maciel. Call up Hannah. And what do we want to do? So we'll stick Hannah out there in left. I need Adele to get playing time in center. He's up to a 55. I need him to get playing time in center. So we'll put Hannah out there in left field, and we'll let him get some playing time in left against righties. All right, so let's keep going. 3 games in San Francisco. Get shut out. We win 2-1. Sandoval again, 3-0, 6 innings, 10 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. Naylor's up to 34 doubles on the year. That's nice to see. Final rubber game against San Francisco. We lose 4-3, so we are 3-5 in August. 3 against St. Louis. We win 9-1. That's okay. So DeGrom picks up the win. He only goes 5 1/3. Only gives up 4 hits, though. 1 run, walks 4, strikes out 5. Conine and Dolis complete the game for us. Gallo, Hannah, Naylor hits 2 home runs. Rodgers with a home run. So the offense was cruising in this one. Okay. It's good to see. Let's keep going. Can we win our 2nd in a row? No, we get blown out, in fact. Glasnow got smoked, so did Medina. Okay. Can't win them all, and if you're us, you can't win most of them. St. Louis, the 3rd game, and we win 6-3. This was a Clevenger game, right? Yeah, Clevenger went 6, improves to 8-9, 3 runs, 10 hits. Wendelken, Hamilton, and Martinez are perfect. Gallo homers again. He's up to 24 on the year now. Average sitting at a cool $185. But the power's coming along. He's hit a bunch of home runs lately, so that's good. Let's keep moving here. We have a 3-game set in New York, followed by 3 at home against the Cubs. 4-3 loss in 13. Middle game, 2-0 loss, and do we get swept by the Mets? We do. We lose 6-3. All right, so not a great month so far. We were 500 in April, 11-17 in May. That hurt. And then June and July, we were 27-27. So we played 500 over 2 months. Not great, but better than where we had been. So now we take on the Cubs 4-3 at home. We win 11-4. Glasnow goes 6, improves to 7 and 8. Gallo with 2 more home runs, up to 192. Cole Tucker hits his 2nd home run. How's that third base defense coming along, Cole? Oh, cool. Zone rating is positive, so it's coming along nicely, it looks like. Joe Adell in center, he's up to a 56. He's got some work to do there, but I want him in center field every single game. I don't want him playing left field. I want him playing center field every single game. And then Celestino can play left. Is Hannah getting it? Hannah's getting better in left field too. I want that flexibility. All right, let's keep going. Middle game against the Cubs, another win. 7-6 over the Cubs. We were up 7-0 and held on. Who got the start? Clevenger got the start, and he got the win, even though he gave up 6 in 6 innings. Managed to hold on to get the victory. Wendelken and Martinez pitched well. Final 3 home runs for Celestino, Ali Sanchez, and McKinstry. McKinstry with 4 runs knocked in. He's angry because he wants to be in the starting lineup. I understand, and I apologize. Can we sweep the Cubs? We cannot. All right, so we are 57-66. Yeah, I'll just go to the end of August, and then we'll call that an episode, or call that a stream, I guess. 3 games at Pittsburgh. We have a 6-game road trip here through Pittsburgh and San Diego. 7-6 win. Schmidt pitched, got smoked, but the bullpen was really, really good. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 1/3 shutout baseball. Adell, Gallo, and Fletcher. It seems like Gallo is homering every single game. He has been on a bit of a hot streak here. It's up to 27-70. He's on pace for 35 and 102. Joe Adell, 265. 4 home runs already for us. All right, another game at Pittsburgh. 7-3 loss. And the final game of the 3-game series against the Pirates is a 2-0 victory. Who pitched in this one? Glasnow. 6 innings of shutout baseball, 8 strikeouts. Wendelken and Martinez shut it down. No home runs in this one, but Gallo had 2 hits. Joe Adell drove in a run. Peraza drove in a run. That works for me. All right, so 3 games at the Padres now. So we take on Yu Darvish. We win 6-5 in 12 innings. Clevenger went the first 6, gave up 4. Claudio, Hamilton, Medina, and Wendelken all pitched scoreless baseball. Martinez gave up a run. That's okay. No home runs, but a lot of doubles. Double for Clevenger, for Hannah, 2 for Naylor. He's got 40. Tucker, Adamon, Sanchez with 2, McKinstry with 1. At San Diego again. And another win. Our 3rd win in a row. We are 3-1 on the season. Adams goes 2 for 3. The backup catcher comes in and gets some run, hits his 8th home run of the season. Sandoval again. Patrick Sandoval has been fantastic for us since we picked him up. 4-1 with a 2.76 ERA in 7 starts. He's been great. He has been great. No other way about it. Kostichuk and Hamilton pitched to complete the victory. So can we win 4 in a row and sweep the Padres? We can't. We lose 8-1. So, all right, 3 games down in Miami against the Marlins now. 6-3 loss. 6-5 win. Rivas is ready to come off the DL. Okay. I guess we send down... Who do we send down? Celestino, I guess. That was actually the wrong move because he was the only right-handed bat on the bench. Okay, that's fine. We'll just stick Rivas in left field. I don't particularly care. And Adele keeps getting better. He's up to a 57 in center field. Average is a little light, but 4 home runs, 12 RBIs for us so far. I'll take it. He's been fine. Final game against Miami. Can we win 2 out of 3 against the Marlins? Yes, we win 6-5 again. Who got the start in this one? Clevenger, 4 2/3, 4 runs. Delise picks up the win. Martinez the save. Naylor and Fletcher with home runs. So the final 3 games of this episode will be at Cincinnati. So let's hope for a solid 3 games here. We lose 3-2. We lose 8-7. Not what I had in mind. And we win 5-1. So we win the final game of the month. We are 64-71, getting ready to go into September. Anything interesting happen here? A couple of RBIs for Adaman and Hannah. That's about it, though. DeGrom picks up the win. 7 shutout innings. 6-13 on the year. ERA of 5.5. Yeah, his numbers are dropping. His numbers are dropping, so it's gonna be a problem. But we'll do what we have to do. I mean, he's gotten better. I mean, July and August were better than his first 3 months, but yeah, he's not been good. So, all right, so it is September 1st. I will deal with the roster call-ups in the next episode. But we're in last place. We're only 6 games out of a wild card. I mean, we could have a hot September. Who the hell knows? But we're 6 games out of the wild card. We'll start with pitching. Tyler Glasnow, 3.4 WAR. DeGrom's got a 3.1 WAR. So, I mean, based on WAR alone, he was worth the money that we paid him. Yeah, if you factor $10 million per WAR, which is what I've heard. So, I don't know if that's legit, but, I mean, he's put up 3 WAR. So, I mean, it's okay. Clark Schmidt has continued to have a pretty nice season. J.B. Wendelken's just been phenomenal for us this year. 18 holds, 1.98 ERA. Clevenger's been okay. 5.42, but a 4.59 FIP. Kona, I mean, these WARs are all really good. I mean, I'm really happy with the way our pitching staff has performed, ERAs aside. Radiel Martinez is a negative WAR pitcher, which is kind of weird. But 25 saves for Martinez. Glasnow's been great. I'm glad we picked him up. 9-8, 140 innings, 131 hits, 185 strikeouts, only 52 walks. He's been terrific. Offensively, Brendan Rodgers continues to play really well. 331, 381, 524. Josh Naylor has 42 doubles on the year, 17 home runs, 6 triples. A nice bounce back season. Last year was a disappointment. Was really a disappointment. 239. 719 OPS. So he's had a nice season for us. Joe Adele's been okay since coming over. 241, 270, 416, 5 home runs. He's striking out a metric ton. But he's still young. He's still getting better at center field. And he will be our starting center fielder next year, more than likely. Riley Adams doing a nice job as our backup catcher. He and Ali Sanchez and providing a nice combo behind the plate. Peraza... excuse me. Continuing to hit okay, but the defense has not been good, so we're going to have to figure out what to do there. Jamison Hannah has had a nice second season, albeit not quite as good as he had last year, where he hit 350 in 72 games. Hasn't been bad. He'll make a good backup outfielder. Gallo has started to come around a bit. This was his best month. He's up to 192. Batting splits on the year, you can see he hit 240 last month, 938 OPS. So if he can replicate that in September, he'll end up hitting just over 200, but he'll hit 40 home runs. So I'll take it. Alfonso Rivas is doing what I thought he would do, which is hit for a decent average and good on base percentage. He can't field, but good hitter. Cole Tucker's been pretty good since coming over. Average has dipped a little bit, but Actually, he hasn't been very good. Is he fielding? Yeah, I mean, he's fielding okay, which is the primary reason we picked him up, right? Was we wanted to improve the defense, and we have. McKinstry is angry because he's not playing as much as he would like, but tough. Dom Fletcher is providing some pop, and Adamon hasn't been very good. If you look at our prospects, just look at our pipeline really quickly. Drew Jones is an A-ball, 310, 382, 542. I think we can probably call him up to high A-ball for the rest of the season. Give him a little bit of run there at the end of the year. Cisneros was our international guy we picked up this year. So he'll be in the international complex for a bit. Drew Romo we just talked about, but he'll be up next year. He'll be our starting catcher next year, and hopefully those ratings maintain. Jack Leiter has been quite good. Oh, he struggled as of late, but up until about the last month, he was really, really good. So we'll probably call him up at roster expansion, throw him into the rotation, see what happens. Zach Veen, he wants to be up as well. We'll probably call him up. He's hitting really well too. We'll just stick him in left and let him play left field the rest of the season. Raul Estrada, who is he? He's in our international complex. Carlos Lamelli, 24-year-old, drafted in the 20th round. Good movement, good control, bad stuff. I don't know if he's ever going to make it, but he's organizational depth. Jason Jones, we drafted him back in 2022. He's going to stay in rookie ball for now. And then let's look at the players that we drafted this season, and then we'll call it an episode. So Ben Guest so far, 8 starts, 2-3 with a 4.85 ERA, 38 strikeouts in 42 innings. He's been quite good considering we stuck him in high A ball. Alex Freeland was our second round pick. He's mashing in A ball to the point where I think double A ball is the place for him, and he needs to be a third baseman. He needs to be a third baseman, and he needs to play third base. So I like that he's getting some run as a shortstop, but I want him as a third baseman. Hunter Barco has been really good. 4-1, 302, 45 strikeouts, so we'll call him up to high A as well. Jackson Bennett, he was an 11th round pick this year, or in 2022. He needs to get called up as well. Michael Brown, we just drafted this season. Yeah, I mean, this is what we're going to get out of him, so we'll just leave him there. Calvin Harris, he's hitting really well. We'll call him up. Spencer Miles, we drafted him this year as well. We'll leave him where he is. He's struggling a bit, giving up a bunch of hits, so we'll leave him where he is for right now. And I think that's it from we can enable that. Anybody in AA no, we just called all these people up, so we'll leave them there. Freeland is in AA. Anybody here? I would really like to see some growth out of Andrew Patrick. This is his 3rd straight season in rookie ball. Carter Smith. He's been good. We can call him up, I guess. And let's lock that. Cool. So we will just reset and let the AI fill in the rest. Okay. So, guys, that's going to be it. Rocco, thanks for dropping us a follow here. I hope you enjoyed my 2 hours and 18 minutes here tonight. We got up until September 1st. I hope to do this once a week. Jaron, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I hope to do this once a week. I don't have much more time in my life to do this more than once a week, so that's kind of the plan. But keep an eye on the GM Games channel. There will be an updated video here. Probably Monday is when I'll get the next Rockies video out. If you want to head over to my channel at Around the World Sports, drop me a subscribe over there. I've got a Colorado Rockies playthrough going over there. I also have a Franchise Hockey Manager 7 playthrough going on my channel as well. So, guys, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you hanging out, and I'll see everybody later. Ciao.